You embody the light. They embody the shadow. You both went into the opposite realm to find something, but now you're coming back together. That was a quote from a download that I received earlier today. And so in this reading, we are going to be diving into a dynamic where you are connecting very strongly with another soul. This very much has a divine counterpart kind of energy to it. And what I'm getting is that you in this connection have been embodying the light aspects, whereas this other individual has been embodying the shadow aspects. However, you both were actually sent into the opposite polarity. So you found yourself exploring more of your own shadow, whereas this person found themselves exploring more of the light. And now this seems to be allowing the both of you to balance out internally in a way that is magnetizing you together. So for some of you, this could be someone that you've known for a while in the physical realm. This may be a very deep connection that you've been dealing with for a long time. For others of you, this could be another soul that you've just been connected to in the astral realm, that you've been sensing energetically. I'm hearing there's a lot of interplay between light and darkness, light and shadow. And when I use these terms, I want to clarify that I'm not referring to good and evil, so to speak. I am referring to consciousness and unconsciousness. So I feel as though in this connection, you've carried a higher level of awareness, of spiritual consciousness. I see that you're really lit up in the upper chakra centers, particularly the upper 3 chakras, the crown, the third eye, and the throat. And I'm getting that you were actually naturally born with these chakra centers very activated. My guides are saying especially the throat chakra. So I feel that the person I'm speaking to today is someone who has always been able to articulate themselves or use their voice in a way that's very powerful. I'm hearing that when you speak, people listen. Meaning when you put yourself across in some way, when you articulate yourself through speaking, through writing, through creating, it seems to really pull people in. I'm seeing someone on a stage, and the moment they start performing, the whole room turns to look at them and starts to kind of gravitate towards the stage. Now, of course, for a few of you, maybe this is literal if you're a performer, but for most of you, this is metaphoric. It means that when you decide to share something, to articulate yourself in some way, it attracts a certain kind of attention because you have this really naturally activated presence through that activated throat chakra energy. However, what I'm getting is that the lower chakra centers that we could associate more so with the unconsciousness or the shadow, as we've been referring to it in this reading, have been less activated for you. And at times, this has caused you to actually feel a bit ungrounded in the world. So you may have had difficulty just fully being present, enjoying your life. Whereas for this other person, I see that they are someone who has been very activated in the lower chakra centers. This seems to be someone who is very action-oriented, meaning they like to be on the go. They feel comfortable when they're in motion in the physical world. They don't necessarily like to sit and be still and be alone with themselves. Whereas for you, it seems to be the very opposite, where you take a lot of comfort and even find a lot of pleasure just connecting with your own energy, sitting in silence, in stillness, in your own energy. being in that kind of flow within yourself. But again, I feel as though events and circumstances of both of your lives have actually pushed you into the opposite aspect. So for this other person, I'm getting that they've gone through some kind of loss in their life or some kind of hardship that forced them to stop in their tracks, that forced them to no longer be able to run away from their own thoughts, their own emotions, that pushed them to have to be alone with themselves. Maybe even specific circumstances actually forced them to be on their own, whether it was living on their own. Maybe they went through some kind of breakup, separation. Maybe they felt disconnected from a group of friends or a community, but something pushed this person into their own stillness, into their own loneliness, and forced them to confront more so those upper chakra centers, including the middle chakra center, the heart, which they'd really been heavily avoiding. So if this is someone from your past, this is a person that in the past you would have met and interacted with. I got the name Harry for someone, but you would have met and interacted with this person during a time in the past when they were running from their own emotions. And there was this kind of coldness about them because they were so deep into their shadow, into their unconsciousness, so heavily focused on those lower chakra centers that they were not capable of meeting you in the heart. I'm hearing they left you waiting in the heart. I'm getting that you allowed yourself. Yes, you're typically accustomed to being more so in the throat chakra, the third eye, the crown, but you really dropped into your heart space for this person. You were really in your emotions. You were open with them, vulnerable with them. Again, I'm just speaking to those of you who do have a past in this life with this person, but they were not ready to meet you there in the past. They had to go through very specifically designed challenges, obstacles, hardships in their life. And when I say they were designed, I mean these obstacles were designed to push them up into their heart space. I'm hearing to force them to step up into their heart. I got the name George for someone here as well. So I am going to be pulling some cards here to dive deeper into this person's energy and this dynamic. While I'm shuffling, if you would like me to channel more specifically for you and your situation, I do recommend subscribing to the channel, as subscribing is a form of energetic transference that does tend to allow me to pick up on your energy more easily, not just in this reading, but in future reading videos as well. I'm actually going to be pulling from one of my relatively new decks, and this is called Messages from the Universe. So this is just going to be a message. So what can I channel from either your higher self or this person's higher self at this time? Bigger and better experiences are coming your way. You may not be able to see it, but greater things are coming together for you as you read it. As you read this, trust the process and let it unfold in divine timing. Move forward, knowing that all is working out just fine. And we also have the card. The reason some people have walked away from you has nothing to do with you. They have been removed from your life because the universe is taking you to the next level. They have already served their purpose in your life. Let them go and keep moving. Greater is coming. So that may be speaking to a dynamic generally that some of you are experiencing, but I feel that when it comes to this person, this speaks to the past where this person may have walked away from you. I'm hearing they walked away emotionally. They left you holding the bag emotionally. Again, they left you waiting in the heart space because you were willing to be open and vulnerable with them, and they were not willing to do the same in the past. And I feel there was a period of waiting where you were willing to wait for a period of time for this person. You gave them a lot of space, a lot of time for them to make the choice to open their heart, but they weren't willing to do it because they were still running. And it was only through the two of you disconnecting or separating and them going through some kind of hardship in their life that they were actually pushed, I'm hearing, through grief or through loss into their own heart. And now it's like their heart is completely cracking open. And this is letting more of that lighter aspect of themselves pour through, which is balancing out their energy. But just like they've been forced to integrate more of their own light, you've been pushed to integrate more of your own shadow during this time, because I'm getting that if you do have a past with this person, when you last interacted, you were more so in your light aspect. And I'm hearing happy-go-lucky. You may have had a very happy-go-lucky energy. Maybe this was a younger time in your life or a time before certain things happened that pushed you to confront a lot of shadow. But I feel that in the interim of time since, you've gone through hardships yourself that have pushed you to confront shadows. And I'm hearing many of these shadows were not your own. They were shadows in your family's line, maybe generational traumas. They may have been shadows coming from a particular belief system or something that you were raised in, certain societal patterns that you were pushed to recognize, to confront, and to integrate into your light aspect. But I see that through this process, the both of you were balanced out individually, most likely through a period of time where it was radio silent between you in the physical realm, where it appeared to be completely over or very stagnant in the physical. And again, if you haven't yet met this person, or this is someone who's relatively recent in your life, then know that this energetic rebalancing is something that the both of you have been going through individually in order to prepare you for this meeting in the physical. So take it however it's connecting with you, whether or not you have a past with this person. We have the card running: escape, denial, excuses, drowning, over your head, overextended, rock bottom. Yeah, this person ran until they were pushed to the point where they felt completely burnt out, where they couldn't run any further. And I feel hardships in their own life played a huge role in this. And I'm hearing in that moment, they thought of you. They remembered you. They remembered the light that you carried and the love that you held for them and that you tried to share with them. And I'm getting, when you shared this love with them, at first they were closed off to it, and it may not have been for months or even years later that the love you showed them all that time ago actually affected them. It's almost like that love was lingering on the outskirts of their energy. It was something that they carried with them for all of that time, but never fully allowed in until they were cracked open through the hardships of their life. And once those moments of cracking open allowed that love, your love that you'd given them all that time ago, to reach them, that's when they consciously connected the dots. And it's like they consciously surfaced these feelings that they had been unconsciously harboring for you all that time without fully realizing it. I'm getting that for some of you, this actually may connect with some of the previous readings that we've been doing, especially some of the mini readings on this channel. So do let me know in the comments if anything so far has been resonating with you in a personal way. But I am going to be pulling some cards from some of the other decks here. So I feel like this person has a few specific messages that I'm going to be pulling from one of my love oracle card decks. So what does this person specifically want you to know at this time? I got the name Michael for someone. That also could be Archangel Michael for someone listening. I don't know how to talk to you. So they're feeling very intimidated at this time. I want to be with you, but I'm scared. What else can I share here from this person's higher self? I know you're the one for me. Yeah, so that speaks to the intimidation that this person is feeling, but also the love that they're consciously connecting with. I'm hearing you were the one the whole time. So again, if you have a past with this person, they are finally consciously connecting the dots and realizing that you've always been the one for them. With material world in the reverse position, I'm getting the sense of, as this person has integrated more of that light energy, they've really, I'm hearing, lost interest in chasing after superficial things that they may have chased after in the past, because all that they can really think about is union here with the union card, reconciliation, eternal love. Your time has come. It's really a message as though the both of you had to undergo this profound rebalancing process within yourselves in order to be able to meet each other at the heart space in an emotionally vulnerable way and come together physically in a way that could be harmonious and balanced between the two of you. It's like that individual balancing had to happen first to allow for this shared balance between you. So I'm going to pull a few more traditional tarot cards to get a few final messages. But if this is connecting with you, then I also want to recommend my Love Magnetism Subliminal from my Sound and Soulful app. I know that many of you are already actively using the app on a daily basis. So I wanted to share with you, if you aren't yet incorporating this subliminal and you're dealing with this situation, this will really help you to continue clearing both your own energy when it comes to love, but also the shared energetic space between you and this person. Because this type of connection is extremely intense, and I'm getting it is intense to both extremes. And most likely, if this is relating for you, you've experienced both ends of that extreme. But the reason for that is actually because there is a very deeply spiritual quality to this connection. I'm feeling that for most of you, this is either a twin flame or a very ancient, very high level soulmate. So I'll most likely be including that in the thumbnail somewhere of the video. But I feel as though this is a very powerful and intense soul connection, and that leads things to feel very extreme and at times very triggering. So it's so essential to find some tool that works for you to really keep yourself vibrating at that frequency of unconditional love, where you can effortlessly align with, harmonize with, and communicate with this person if you do desire to strengthen that bond in the physical. If that's not necessarily what you desire, even still, this subliminal will really help you to align with your personal highest vibrational timeline in love, whatever that is for you. So you can search for it within the Sound and Soulful app. There is a search feature on the app that allows you to search every subliminal I have there. If you don't yet have the app, then I'll also be leaving a link to download it underneath this video. And subliminals are just a really powerful tool to help you reprogram your subconscious mind, magnetize your energy, and manifest in your life. And I have many different subliminals for all different areas of life in the app that you can try out when you create an account free. You can start a 7-day free trial to see how subliminals work for you to help you shift your energy and manifest in your life. So again, I'll be leaving all of that information under this video in the description box if you're interested. So let's go ahead and pull a few more cards from the traditional tarot. Okay, so we have the card, the Three of Wands, and this speaks to this person having a lot of foresight when it comes to this connection, really wanting to plan ahead here. This definitely gives me the energy of someone who's been running for a really long time, but now all they want to do is settle down with you. It's like an absolute 180-degree shift. I'm hearing only the Empress could tame them. So it's almost like they see you as the only one who's really able to understand their shadows. I'm hearing they're not afraid to break down in your presence. In fact, if you have connected with this person recently, or when you do reconnect with them or meet them, you will find that they actually feel comfortable to show emotion around you, to even allow themselves to break down with you. It's almost like their heart can crack open in your presence, but it's because they sense that you are the Empress here, that you are I'm hearing a spiritual healer. So maybe you have natural spiritual energetic healing abilities, and they can sense that you have the capacity to hold space for their shadow, for their woundedness. I'm hearing it doesn't scare you away. In fact, you are very attracted to vulnerability, to someone being willing to open their heart, to express how they're feeling, even if it's messy or chaotic. And that's one of the beautiful ways that you connect with other people and actually heal them, by making them feel safe to break down in your presence if that's what they need to get off their chest. If that's the kind of energy they need to release to be in a better state of being. With the Emperor reversed, I'm hearing seed of potential, that this person has always had the seed of potential to actually be powerful spiritually in their own right, in their healed state, to be the Emperor, to match your Empress energy. That kind of divine counterpart sort of union is present here. But I'm seeing that for a long time, it's like they were running from their own potential, because reaching that potential would have required them to face some of their shadows and some of their fears. But now they seem to actually be confronted with those things and slowly but surely transforming more into this Emperor energy that could potentially really meet you where you are. Yeah, we have the Star card. So I feel like your presence, either energetically, if you're not physically connecting with this person, or just physically as well, depending on how you're relating to each other in the world at this time, but your presence is healing this person's wounded Emperor energy. It's healing that part of them that has been running from their own emotions. That part of them that was very rigid and cold in the past, I want to say, because they were avoiding their own heart space. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the reading here, especially since I just saw the number 2222 on the recording timer, and that feels like a perfect synchronicity to close out the reading. But I would love to hear from you in the comments if any message here reached you in a personal way. Of course, if you feel guided to it, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. And if you are using the Sound and Soulful Subliminals app and you'd like to incorporate the Love Magnetism Subliminal into your daily routines to really help you stay aligned with that frequency of unconditional love that is so powerful and so magnetic, then I will leave the information on that under this video, as well as a link to download the app if you don't yet have it. So thank you so much again. I hope you have an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.